Not a bad January day here in Central Iowa. It's cool. Not much wind though. The sun's trying to come out, and Buddy's over here hacking on cat food. Oh, that's Jesse, I guess. You don't have to dump it. It's messy enough in here the way it is, guys. All right, so getting into the shop here. First things first. Well, first I gotta get the heat turned on. It's rather chilly in here. Need to clean this up a little bit. It's just it looks like a tornado went through down here. Anyway, came down here a little while ago, and you saw in my last video I got the bottom of the truck all fixed up. And when I initially did that, nobody else commented about it in the video, but when I took a picture of it and even in the video, I thought it looked like it was just slightly lighter color than back here. But I tell you, standing here in person, it looks perfect to me. I think it depends on, well, like you can see my shadow moving around on it. Depends on if there's a little bit of a shadow. I think the light's hitting back in here a little bit different than up here. But boy, I can't tell anything. Looks good to me. So I'm gonna get all this taken off, get it cleaned up a little bit down here, and then I need to pull the truck out. I gotta pull my old Tahoe in. It's been sitting here. Haven't been able to drive it because I believe the water pump's out on it. So gonna get working on that here shortly. But first need to get the heat turned on, get it warmed up in here. Which, not gonna turn on, must be below 45. Well, it's 40 degrees in here. All right, let that run a little bit and I'll be back with you. So first things first, get all this paper off of here. Paper and tape, which it's gonna be a little difficult to get to. Alright, so I got all the plastic and paper and tape, everything off of there, and I put the bolt back in up under here, and there's one back in there I had to put him in. Now we'll just move this guy out of the way. And I'm going to get the truck fired up. I'm going to move the Tahoe out of there, pull the truck out, pull the Tahoe in, and get to work. Well, I didn't have the camera on when I started the truck, but anyway, I am darn near out of fuel. I think the rear tank is out of fuel. Maybe I'll take it for a little drive and dump a little bit of fuel in her. Well, I got Tahoe in here and gonna get to work on that here shortly. And I was just on the phone with the elevator, Heartland Co-op. Anyway, they're sounds like they're about a week out on bringing me a tank to hook this heater up. I did get the electric and thermostat hooked up, and I can run just the fan, and she's pretty darn quiet. I'm not sure how much louder it's going to be with the, when it's lit, but I have been told that they don't make a whole lot more noise than that, so might hear a little bit of it in the background, but a lot better than those guys. So anyway, like I said, got the Tahoe in here, gonna get to work on it shortly. Took the truck out, put a little bit of gas in it, and went for a little drive. Tires were pretty flat spotted there. Been sitting there for a while, but wanted to show you real quick what this, what that spot looks like out in the daylight. And I gotta say, I don't think it could be much better. Did manage to get a little bit of crud thrown up for my tires. Roads aren't wet or anything, but there are a couple of little wet spots in the driveway and so forth. But no, it turned out good. I don't see any issue with that at all. So anyway, I was talking with those guys about getting an LP tank, and I can't put it out there on the cement. It needs to go into the ground. So I'm thinking it's probably just going to go out here somewhere. It's got to be 10 feet away from the building, which makes no sense to me. If the thing blows up, what difference does it make if it's sitting right next to the building or 10 feet away? But that's what you got to do. They have to go by Iowa code. So I'm thinking put it out here somewhere. And in fact, I don't know, maybe we could put it right out here. Just set it on the cement there, and then run the line into here. So anyway, I'm gonna have to run about 40 more feet of that black pipe. What are you barking at, Jess? There's a car about 3/4 of a mile away. I don't think you're gonna, anyway. Gonna have to run black pipe out this way. At least I'm thinking that's what I'm gonna do. Probably just gonna go over there along that wall, and we'll just run it straight out. I could go out. I could run it over here and along that wall and then out, but it would actually take more pipe to do that. We got 30 feet here and about, let's see, roughly 20 feet here. So not a big difference, about 10 feet difference. So I don't know, think about that. Got a week to get her done, so not gonna be a big deal. And I gotta change my battery, and we'll get to work on the Tahoe. And first things first over here, I know my lighting isn't the greatest. I couldn't figure out a way to get this light. I tried to hang it up on the overhead. Tried to hang it up on the door track. That didn't work so well, but hopefully you can see what's up here. First thing I gotta do, I gotta get this fan shroud out of here, which it's a 2-piece shroud. You got a bolt there, and well, there's supposed to be one there, but it's missing. And I believe there's same thing over here. There's one there, other bolt over here. So those need to come out. Take this guy out, this wiring harness, and let's see, this the vent tube here. So let me get those out. I need to take these three bolts off, and sucker should just come right out of there. And all of these are 10mm, so that's what it is. Not sure what's going on there. I keep popping off of it with the impact, so we'll do it this way. See what's going on. It's turning. I don't understand. Something must have broke or something. I think it's the little clip that it screws into. Yeah. I actually think it's loose. Yeah, it is. Yeah, we'll get this last one here. Alright, got him out. Where's the other one at? Put him in this other battery tray here. Let's see, get this clip apart. And I actually think I've replaced the water pump in this before. It's been a long time ago. I don't really remember doing it, but I do remember the fan being a booger to get off. Let's see, there's another clip in here. Alright, so I got that clip holding that vent tube on. Got these other three to get out. Now, I think this should just lift up out of here. There we go. And now we have all kinds of room in here for activities. So we need to get this fan off, and in order to do that, let's see, can I find a wide blade somewhere? There's a big nut down there, and that is a booger to get off. They do make a special tool, put on that nut, and the special tool that kind of wedges in between the bolts on that pulley, and that's supposed to work. I got that tool last time. I do remember that. I couldn't get the darn thing to work, and I think I may have knocked this off using an air chisel, but I'm gonna try just using a big adjustable wrench and a hammer, and we'll see if it'll pound off. Kind of doubt it. All right, big hammer, big wrench. See if we can do some damage here. Well, we'll give her a couple taps and see if it works. I think it might have. Nope, not yet. Yeah, we'll give her another whack. Alright, we'll try it this way. Get on a corner here. It turned. Now we're cooking. I remember doing this before, and I spent hours and hours trying to get the fan off. And I don't remember who told me. Use an air chisel. Sounded kind of crazy to me at the time. Came right off. One fan off. So now with the fan off, we need to get the belt off, and then we'll take this guy off. And to get the fan off, you just come down here on the tensioner, right in there, that square hole. Just take a 3/8 ratchet, stick them in there, push down, and then you can get the belt off. Just like so. Just push down on that, and get your belt off. And I would get it out of there because you don't want to get antifreeze all over it. Also a good time to check all your pulleys. Tensioner, it's solid. Everything looks good, so now we'll get this pulley off down here. All you gotta do is take out those 4 bolts, which I'm not sure what size they are. 10mm. And I can fit this guy in here. And there he is. Set that over here in the tray as well, along with the bolts. And I'm going to go ahead and take this idler pulley off of here. I don't think you really need to, but it just opens that space up a little bit for you to see what you're doing back in here. There's a hose you got to take off, and just makes it a little bit easier. It's just one bolt. And it's a 13mm, which you got to take that one off for you. Then you always drop something. Yeah, dropped that little guy. So set him in here. And now we take those 2 hoses off. Let's see, the water pump, there's a bolt back in there. Not sure where all the bolts are. One on the other side. I assume there's one on the bottom. You're gonna have to take the bottom radiator hose off. That'll make a mess, but gotta do it. Wish I had some better lighting, but I don't. And we'll just slide him up the hose. Maybe. There we go. And I need to do the same thing with that guy, but somehow that tab is right up against the water pump. I'll figure it out. Get him off of there somehow. Alright, got it. I had to get back in there and pry behind it with a screwdriver, and then I could get a pair of channel locks on it. Oh, it's really wedged in there. There Good boy. Pop these top hoses off. I don't think there's going to be anything come out of them. Alright, I can get a regular pair of pliers on there. Twisty a little bit. Let's see if we can pull that up off of there. I'm going to take this off as well. I think that's a 10 millimeter. It will give you a little more room to lift this hose up off of there. There, I got that one off. Alright, take the bottom radiator hose off, and we're ready to get the water pump off of here. But first, I need to get a bucket or something underneath there to try to catch the mess and have it be minimum on the floor. Alright, so I managed to hang a light up back here. I wish I would have done that in the first place. Got an oil pan underneath here, and now we'll get this bottom radiator hose off of here. Alright, so we got that clamp moved down. Now we'll see if we can get this hose off. There we go. Getting most of it in the pan. Most of it. Alright, I'm just going to let that drain out here for a little while. Alright, she's pretty well drained out, I believe. I think there's only 4 bolts that hold that on. There's one down in there, and then there's one right below it. And same on the other side. So it should be pretty easy. And those are, I just tried, I think they're 14. Let's see, where is this at here? 15 millimeter. So we will see, get those suckers out of there. I can't see in here very good. That's not really helping. Well, let's see, I know there's one right there. Got him out. Put him there. Get the other 3 out, and we'll get this water pump out of here. All right, work on the last one. Voila, one water pump. Well, I tell you what, guys, it's kind of strange. It's almost like there's no gasket material on here either. I mean, we're just down to metal. It's like the gaskets just totally deteriorated. So I'm not sure what happened. Half tempted to just get new gaskets. Water pump. I never saw any coolant out of the weep hole, although it does look like it was a little wet right there at one time. It spins nice. I don't know if I want to go to the work of putting this back on to find out there is something bad with it. I think I'll probably just get a new one. But yeah, rather strange. Anyway, and it does make a little bit of noise. Oops. Spins free though. I don't know. I think I'll just get a new one and call it good. Alright, so I picked up a new water pump. I've got the gaskets on here. It's got a little bit of RTV like right around in here on both sides just to hold the gasket on. And on the bolts, I put some RTV sealant down right where she's going to screw into the block there, just to on the right hand side, or left hand side I guess, the driver's side. There is one of these bolts. The bottom bolt goes into the waterway, the water passage. So sealing that up with a little bit of RTV. And right there is what I'm talking about. This side over here doesn't seem to be that way, but this side over here, that bolt screws right into the water passage. So anyway, I'm sealing them all up with some RTV, and we should be good. Alright guys, so I am going to get the water pump. Well, I tell you what guys, it's kind of strange. It's almost like there's no gasket material on here either. I mean, we're just down to metal. It's like the gaskets just totally deteriorated. So I'm not sure what happened. Half tempted to just get new gaskets. Water pump. on the not the Bronco, on the Tahoe here shortly. All right, so we're gonna try to get this mounted in here. Heaters. All right, so we'll try to get this mounted in here. I can't see down in here very good. This one over on this side especially is kind of hard to see, but let's see what I can do here. So I got the top 2 bolts over here, and we will try to get them in. All right, I keep getting SD card errors. I think I have this one over here started. All right, we'll see if we can get these the bottom bolts in. I just put my old hanging heater up for sale. Already had a couple people asking about it. That one's going in. And now we'll see if we can get this other guy in. Where's he go? He goes down, way down there. I don't know if I can get my hand in there. And of course, that one's not wanting to go for whatever reason. All right, finally got this bottom one to go. Just being a little stubborn is all. You're supposed to torque these to, I think, 22 foot-pounds or something like that, but I'm just gonna snug them up. All right, so last night I got the water pump on. Got all the bolts tightened up on there, and so now all that's left to do really is we got to put this hose back on, that hose back on, put a bolt in there, put the idler pulley on, and then get the fan back on and the belt, fill it full of coolant, and we should be good to go. So shouldn't take much longer. So first things first, we'll get that hose on. Well, we're gonna get both of them on. Shouldn't take too much. Got that one on. That guy on. Get this bolt in here. I don't remember what size that is. I'm assuming the socket is down in here somewhere. No. You know how they're always saying you can never find your 10mm socket? Yeah, I couldn't find my 10mm socket, but I found it. That on. Idler pulley. Alright, so I got the last bolt going in here. I was putting these in and the air compressor kicked on, then the heaters kicked on. Alright, got those bolts in. You tighten those up. And I am going to give them just a quick little zap with this. Need to go the right way. That should do it. And now we'll get the fan back on, and I would highly recommend leaving this little protective sleeve on the threads, just so you don't mess anything up, until you're ready to put the fan on. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but my stomach's growling. I haven't eaten breakfast this morning. And I'm getting ahead of myself. Before you put the fan on, put the lower radiator hose back on, or on the water pump. Might have been a slight leak. And I know you can't see this at the moment, but I'm just going to slip the hose back on. Alright, got that radiator hose on. Now we'll get the fan back on. All right, I'm gonna get the belt back on, and then just gonna put this wrench on that nut, give it a couple taps with a hammer, and that should be good enough. All right, got the belt on. Take that off. And so now we'll just get this on that nut. All right, now we'll get the shroud put back on, fill it full of coolant. Should be good. All right, got that set in there. Put these back in. And then I'll put these bolts down in there that you can't see. All right, got those bolts in, put this wiring harness back where it belongs. All right, so now just gonna fill it full of antifreeze, start her up, let the air get out of the system, and we should be good to go. And I may not have enough. Don't know yet. I do have some more, but I don't have another full jug. Well, I started putting coolant in it, and I have a leak. I could not figure out where it was coming from. I stuck a mirror down in there. The gasket on this side of the water pump evidently slipped out of place, and I did not see it. So I'm gonna have to take this all back apart again. Go get some new gaskets and redo it. I even looked in there after I put the water pump on. I didn't see any gasket sticking out anywhere, but it's sticking out of there. So I'm gonna take this all back apart. Won't take too long. Run to the parts store, which is, it'll take me probably an hour to do that. If you can see it dripping down in there. And I'll redo the whole thing. All right, so I went to the parts store, I got new gaskets, got some more antifreeze, took this all back apart, got it all back together. Now we're gonna dump some antifreeze in it, and hopefully there's no leaky anywhere. So we will try this again. There's not much left in this jug. So far so good. Gotta get the other jug. And heck, this still might not be enough, I don't know. Hope so. I don't hear anything leaking yet. I think we're good. I can see it. And I hope that recorded, because I had another SD card error. I don't know what's going on. But no leaks yet. And I had it more full than I did previously. I'm not going to have enough antifreeze though, not in this. I do have a little more in the back though. Well, pick up to the rescue. The label's not in very good shape, but there's a full jug in the toolbox of the truck. Never been opened. So I think we're in good shape. And how in the world is there a spider crawling around on this? It's been really cold out. Not anymore. So I'm going to keep just slowly adding this in here, let it bubble out. Then we're going to start it up and run it and try to get all the air out of it. So I just started it, and of course the cats are all coming in now because it's warm in here, and I got the door open. It's already sucked some of that down. I had it clear full. I'll let it run here for a little while and get warmed up and start circulating around. No leaky. All right, so it ended up we did have leaky. I got it pretty well filled up. It got up to temperature, and it was just drip. Back behind. Yeah, I know you can't see. It's way back in behind there. And I spent a long time tracking it down. I stuck that mirror back up in there and finally figured it out. It's not leaking from the water pump or the gaskets or anything. I don't really think I needed to replace the water pump. It was this fitting up here, and this is a quick connect fitting. I took the O-ring off of this, so I thought maybe that was the whole problem. I put a new one on, that didn't work. They're sitting right down here. Anyway, this is a quick connect heater core hose fitting, and it just goes down in there like that. But it was loose like this and moving around and leaking antifreeze out of there, which then ran down all over. But anyway, there's supposed to be another piece in here sticking up out of here, I guess. So I was looking that part up, and it's going to be a special order. It was going to take, well, today is Tuesday, and it was going to be next Monday till I could get it from the auto parts store. Got it off Amazon. They say I'll have it Friday. Hopefully I have it before that. If not, it's not that big a deal. But I think that was the culprit all along. But anyway, new water pump, so don't have to worry about that for a while. But do need to get a new one of those. And hopefully that will take care of it and we'll be good to go. The hose seems okay. So I think that's the whole issue. I don't know where the little, it's a plastic part that goes in there. Not sure where that went. There is some gunk down inside that. Maybe it just disintegrated. I don't know. So if you have a coolant leak down there right in the middle up front here, and the weep hole on your water pump isn't wet, you might check this hose, because that was the culprit. Anyway, that's going to do it. So give this video a big old thumbs up. Comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. We'll catch you next time, guys. Hopefully we'll get this old girl going, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.